What's good, y'all? It's your boy Shane Hector. Coming at you live from WBGR Studio. No BS, no holds barred sports talk show is back in the building. I know you guys are about to wonder what's going on today and why is it just me. And it's because Mr. Unregulated could not be here today, and we had to do a little something different this week. So, but Mr. Unregulated will be back next week, so I can't wait for you. Can't wait for that. Can't wait to see him next week. See you soon, Mr. Unregulated. So, here's the situation. I got a lot of stuff to talk to y'all about today, so this is where it's gonna get fun. It's gonna get interesting. I'm just gonna keep it pushing, keep it moving. You know, I want everybody to understand the seriousness of the situation of sports, especially after Turkey Day. Just saying, look at Turkey Day. Turkey Day was funny. So, that number to call is going to be 301-429-9247. These are the topics that we're talking about today. Look at that. We're going to talk about the Week 11 recap. We're going to talk about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, the NCAA, the surprise teams of the NBA, the road to the Super Bowl, and why didn't the Redskins, yes, Skins, I'm calling y'all out, why didn't y'all sign Colin Kaepernick? Because y'all going to need him after, you know, what I just saw yesterday. But hey, who am I? I'm just the guy analyzing the situation. But hey, let's go ahead and jump into it. Week 11 recap. You know, last week was kind of funny, you know. That Chiefs and Rams game on Monday night was hilarious. I mean, you know, Patrick Mahomes threw like 3 interceptions and threw 6 touchdowns. But hey, I guess in this day and age, you know, anybody could throw 6 touchdowns. I mean, in this day and age, I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just simply saying these rules for the league nowadays, you know, has a lot of you know, very, very interesting ways of making all these touchdowns come out of nowhere and guys breaking records and stuff. But hey, that's none of my business. So, the truth is be told, Week 11 is going to be fun. Week 11 was fun. And Week 12 is already started off very interesting. Shout out to Mr. Jabari Emanuel, and thank you, Ms. Cheryl Owens, part of our No BS team, for tuning in, of course. But anyways, getting back to the point. Here's the situation. You can't sit here and tell me that Week 12 is not going to be fun, because Week 11 was enough within itself. You know, Lamar Jackson got his first start as an NFL quarterback, and he beats the Cincinnati Bengals, although they had no AJ Green. But not bad in his first start. He had a couple of touchdowns. He had over 21 carries for 127 yards, which I thought was quite interesting. I mean, he might as well play running back, you know. Then he had, you know, he did pretty good in his first start. I like it. I like the future for the Baltimore Ravens. But what does that mean for Joe Flacco? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you what you're gonna have to deal with. The situation is Lamar Jackson is probably going to take over the Baltimore Ravens for the foreseeable future, and Joe Flacco is out. You're going to have to say bye-bye to Joe Flacco. To all Ravens fans, I'm pretty sure that's what you guys wanted to hear. I know you guys been waiting for it. That's what it comes down to. But at the end of the day, you know, that's it. That's it for Joe. Because the thing is, it's been a long time coming. First off, it's been a long time coming because Joe just hasn't performed well. And then on top of that, the Ravens playing our part in ways with John Harbaugh at the end of the season. You know, it's going to be a mutual thing. Now, here's the thing. If, in fact, that does happen, right? If, in fact, that does happen, then what's going to happen is they're going to have to search for a new head coach, and there's going to be a few head coaches out there that may be able to fill that void. Unfortunately, right now, there's not really too many guys out there for really to take a look at. I mean, you could take a Rex Ryan and bring him back to Baltimore. You could do that. Have him as head coach. I mean, he was a defensive coordinator, and then for Baltimore, so you do have a good relationship with him right there, and he's looking to get back into the mix. There is John Fox. John Fox is out there. You could take a look at him. He's a heck of a head coach. He's gotten to the Super Bowl at least a couple of times, and it's not like he's not a great coach, because obviously he's gotten to the Super Bowl not once but twice. He did it under the Panthers and he did it under the Broncos. It just didn't end well. So that's where it comes down to. So there's many different options at head coach for the Baltimore Ravens. If I had to choose out of those two, I'm definitely going to go with Rex Ryan, because here's the thing. Rex Ryan, even though what happened in Buffalo, as you can see what's going on in Buffalo now. Buffalo is a terrible football team. They're not even great. They're not even remotely even cute. So I don't even know why they're even a conversation. When he was with the Jets, he was a very good head coach. Looks like we might have a caller. We'll see what happens with that. But what it'll come down to is the Baltimore Ravens will have to have a choice. They'll have to look at Rex Ryan, and they'll have to look at Flacco. They'll have to look at Flacco, they'll have to look at Harbaugh and say to yourselves, all right, well, Flacco's out. We're getting rid of him probably at the end of the season. And then most likely with John Harbaugh, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go find yourself a head coach that can go ahead and provide what you need to provide. Because you need the defense to stay intact, but you also need somebody who could do the things that the head coach needs him to do. Now, that's what it'll come down to. So, now, going back to this week's recap also, I don't know if anybody saw, but, Alex Smith, they lost this past Sunday, and he broke his leg in a couple of different places. He's most certainly out for the season. It really was kind of very interesting, because it was the same exact injury as Joe Theismann, and the exact same way on the exact same day many years ago on the same day, and Joe Theismann had that same injury. And then, to make matters worse, Joe Theismann went ahead and tweeted out, that he feels for him, and the condolences went out for Alex Smith and how he felt after he got hurt. And it was really kind of sad that happened. But, what can you do? This is the NFL, and it's unfortunate. And Alex Smith, we wish you a speedy recovery. Nobody ever wants to see an injury like that in this league. So, now, going back to the Chiefs and Rams game, if anybody doesn't realize it now, that was probably one of the best games this season, if not a preview to the Super Bowl. Because if the Rams and the Chiefs find their way there, then I could say it like this. This is going to be a very, very interesting season to watch. Because the truth is, when you look at the situation, right? When you look at the situation of the state of the Rams and the Chiefs, they only lost because they kept turning over the football. Patrick Mahomes accounted for 5 turnovers. They had 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles. You can't win a football game turning over the ball 5 times. It's just not going to happen. If you think for a second that you're going to win a football game turning over the ball 5 times, you were sadly mistaken. The only time that even happened in a football game was when Tony Romo for the Dallas Cowboys turned the ball over 5 times and beat the Buffalo Bills. But that was a Buffalo Bills team that was terrible back then. So that's what it was. But let's jump right into these picks right up here. So we're gonna talk about it. So The picks. So the Bears already beat the Lions. The Saints already beat the Falcons, which, by the way, I already told people that the Saints is going to keep rolling. I mean, that's just what it is. And then the Cowboys, well, they beat the Redskins. Now, if I had to choose between the Raiders and Ravens, I'm definitely going to choose the Ravens in this one, just because I think Lamar Jackson, he's got a little confidence. He's building it up. And the Raiders, well, I mean, they're trash, so it is what it is. Jaguars and Bills, I'm going to choose the Jags in that one. Leonard Fournette is back healthy. I think they're going to play. I think they'll be able to run the football very well. Not to mention that Jacksonville defense, they're going to have something to prove. So, Seahawks and Panthers. Everybody calls me crazy. I've got the Panthers winning this game. Let me explain why. Cam Newton is playing at home. That defense is playing at home. They're playing extremely well. They've got they got confidence. Now, granted, they got 4 losses on the season, but they look. But it's just that game against the Steelers. Don't let that game fool you, because everybody makes it seem like the Pittsburgh Steelers is a terrible football team when they're not. That offense is highly potent. They're a top 10 offense, and on top of that, they play very well even without Le'Veon Bell. So I expect nothing less than the Panthers winning this game. Browns, Bengals. Oddly enough, I'm probably crazy for choosing them, but I'm going to choose the Browns in this one, because after what they did to the Falcons last Sunday before this Thursday, I'm pretty sure the Browns got some confidence, and this team is like ready to be high flying. Patriots, Jets, Patriots. I'm not even going to think about it. Gronkowski is going to be healthy for this game. He is going to be playing, so he is expected to return and play very well in this game. So, Giants, Eagles. I'm going to choose the Eagles in this one, just because the Eagles right now, they are in a must-win situation if they want to stay in the playoff hunt in order to at least try to get a wild card, or at least stay in the hunt, because at this moment the projections are looking that the Eagles might not get a wild card spot. Niners and Buccaneers. I mean, it's the bum bowl, as Mr. Regulator likes to put it. It's the bum bowl. So, Buccaneers, I'm going to choose the Bucs at home. I just don't see how they could beat the Niners. How the Niners could beat the Bucs. So, Cardinals, Chargers. I'm going to choose the Chargers in this one, because the Chargers, they need to get a win. They need to keep winning in order to keep pace with the Kansas City Chiefs. So I get the Chargers winning that one. Dolphins, Colts. I'm going to choose the Dolphins in this one, and let me explain why. Dolphins defense is not as bad as everyone makes it seem, and on top of that, Andrew Luck may be playing pretty well, but don't let that Titans game fool you. I don't let that fool me. Sorry. Steelers, Broncos. I'm rolling with the Steelers because the Broncos don't have Demaryius Thomas. Emmanuel Sanders, he might be on his way out too. They ain't got no corners. They ain't got no linebackers. They somewhat got a D line, but Von Miller can't doesn't make all the plays on defense. Packers, Vikings. If I had to choose, I'm gonna roll with the Vikings in this one, because the Packers, I just don't. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like the same Aaron Rodgers as he once was, so I just don't. And Monday night game is going to be the Titans and Texans. Now, for you Titans fans, this is where you're going to get mad at me. The Texans, I believe, are going to definitely win this one. Demaryius Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, Lamar Miller coming out of the backfield. There's just no way you could tell me that the Texans are not going to win this game. So, Texans, I got the Texans winning that one. There is a 38-24. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think the Texans are going to probably pull it out in the fourth quarter. So, real quick, folks, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, I got some other things to talk to you guys about. So, don't go anywhere on the No BS Show.
Hey guys, I'm Asia Morgan, an intern at WBGR Network and a proud senior of Morgan State University. Here's a few pointers on campus and community safety. Use your eyes and stay alert. Studies show that looking a predator directly in their face causes them to be less likely to choose you as their victim, because you then have the means to easily identify them. Focus on your surroundings and not your phone. And never walk alone. Walk in pairs or in groups wherever you go, because we are stronger in numbers. If that's not possible, use safety services. Universities have escort services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Take advantage when leaving late night study sessions, parties, or anything else where you will be usually traveling alone. And when using riding services like Lyft or Uber, always check to see that you're getting into the right car. If you're traveling alone, be a backseat rider, buckle up no matter what, and never forget to share the details of your trip with a friend or family member. Lastly, trust your instincts. If you feel like something is wrong, 9 times out of 10, it usually is. Don't ignore that feeling. This has been a message from the WBGR PSA Project.
A special shout out to Mr. Unregulated's son, right above me, as a young man, as a little man, as a Devin Tennant, also known as Devin the Beast, who plays for the District High School. So a special happy birthday shout out to him. And Mr. Unregulated, I know you're very, very proud of your son. You've always spoke highly of him and what he's accomplished so far in his young life. And hopefully we will continue to see many more, and we will see many more birthdays. So special shout out to Devin for his birthday. And of course, what I always say is this, it's always good to celebrate, a person's life, because of the fact that it's another year, it's a whole new year, and then there's so many things you get to accomplish in that year. So I hope hopefully you continue to keep achieving and keep going for the stars, Devin. You have a great father, so you got some big shoes to fill. So there it is from your boy Shane on No BS. Oh, now this might be some fun, and this is what it always comes down to. And so now the District Heights Chiefs, special shout out to them. And having Devin as your teammate, and and things of that nature. And I always say, happy birthday from the No BS Show. Happy birthday. So, Carly, you're live.
Yes. Good afternoon. Is this the insane Shane?
Yes, sir.
Hey Shane, it's your boy, Mr. Unregulated. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm happy to hear from you.
Yeah, man. I got a full day of activities planned today, so I'm still trying to get everything together. But I thought I'd give you a call in and help you out with these picks.
All right, let's go back to the picks. Since I'm pretty sure you saw that. So I know you disagree with some of my picks already. So who do you disagree with?
You're going to have to run them down to me.
So I picked... So, obviously, the Bears won, the Saints won, and the Cowboys won, so we don't need to talk about those games, but...
Those are all great picks. I picked all the ones that won, I picked those, yes.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
got the Raiders and Ravens. Now, how do you feel about that game?
The Raiders absolutely stink, Shane. So the Ravens are starting to stink a little bit too, but I can't go against the Ravens, no.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing. I said the Ravens are probably going to win this game no matter what, so it doesn't even matter. And plus, like I said, Lamar Jackson, he clearly took Flacco's spot, so it is what it is.
What do you think the chances of RG3 getting them behind center? Because from what I hear about Lamar Jackson, they look all that great.
Well, I don't foresee RG3 getting in there. I don't. I don't see RG3 getting in there whatsoever.
Wow.
I don't. Because of the fact that Lamar Jackson is the future, and because he's the future, they're going to put a lot into him, especially since right now the Ravens are going to have to be searching for a head coach because, John Harbaugh is supposed to be leaving at the end of the season. So, with that being said, the Ravens right now are going to be in kind of disarray. So, they're going to have to find somebody to fill the head coaching job. And then on top of that, they need somebody to help their young quarterback. And, you know, the pick that I had, and everybody's going to call me crazy, I honestly think Rex Ryan should come back to Baltimore. Everybody thinks I'm nuts, but I'm telling you, I think he would actually be good because of the fact that I've seen what he's done with young quarterbacks in the past, especially quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, because he's worked with Tyrod Taylor in the past when he was with the Bills. He got to a couple of AFC championships with Mark Sanchez, also known as Butt Fumble. So I think Rex Ryan could most certainly be a good fit for him, but if not, I would definitely choose John Fox, because John Fox is still sitting out there as well.
You know, that may very well happen, but since you're going to go out on a limb like that, I'm going to go out on a limb too, and I'm going to predict something, and you're not going to like this, Shane.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to predict that RG3 will have his career resurrected by the only team that can do it in the NFL, and you know who I'm talking about.
Who?
The New England Patriots.
He is not coming to New England.
That is the only team that can help him. They take bad situations and turn them good.
That may very well be true, but RG3's not coming to New England. But getting back to the picks, Jaguars, Bills. I picked the Jags in this one. The Bills are just terrible. So.
No. The last couple of weeks, I've been on this show and I've said BILL, Bills. I'm not going against the Bills. The Bills will win that game.
Good luck with that. Seahawks, Panthers. I got the Panthers in this one.
You know what? The Seahawks need the game bad, and then the Panthers. That's a toss-up, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks because I just think things are going to have to get shook up with this playoff race. So I'm not looking for like the Panthers to run away with the division or be the top wild card spot. I'm looking for things to come down to the final week of the season. So yeah, I'll pick the Seahawks with this one. Make things kind of interesting.
Okay, so Browns, Bengals. I chose the Browns in this one.
The Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals. Browns, Bengals. Shannon, I don't have an answer for you for that one. I mean, I said Greg Williams will improve the team's play, and they will be competitive under him. But can it beat the Bengals? Yeah, they can beat the Bengals. Will they beat the Bengals? I'm not sure. But if I had to put my money on it, I would definitely go with the Bengals. But I'm going to go with the Browns because, I like to stay true to what I say.
Of course. And Patriots, Jets, I'm going to roll with the Patriots in this one. Gronkowski is going to be healthy for this game, and he's expected to play. And the Patriots are going to be a little bit upset, especially after that big loss last week against the Titans. A couple weeks ago against the Titans. So I'm going to roll with New England.
You know what, Shane? You are the only person in the country that predicted that loss by the Patriots last week. So when I'm going, I have to pay attention to you when we talk about the Patriots. So I'm not going to go against you this week. I'm going to pick the Patriots as well. Considering no one else in the country thought the Patriots will lose last week.
Hey, I tried to tell you that Titans defense was pretty darn good. They just laid an egg against the Colts last week, though. Giants, Eagles. This one was a hard one for me, but I chose the Eagles just because of the fact that the Eagles are playing at home. I just don't see how the Giants could be stopped. How the Giants are going to stop the Philadelphia Eagles. However, I'm not going to act like this might not be a trap game for the Eagles just because of the simple fact that Odell Beckham said himself the Giants will go 8-0. So,
wow.
Yeah, we'll go 8-0 in the second part of the season. So I said, if that actually, I don't want that to come true, but if that does come true, and the Giants find their way into the playoffs, it's going to be really, really interesting because it's going to be a repeat of some stuff we've seen in the past from this Giants team. So, but I don't think it's going to happen. So.
Well, I think Odell Beckham it's a lot of wishful thinking. Now, I'm not saying that they won't have a successful second half of the season. In fact, I'm picking the Giants to win this game because the NFC East is so crazy right now. Wouldn't it be just amazing to have the Giants come from where they came from? What were they, 2-7 or 2-6, to actually be breaking 500 and like a game behind first place.
Right.
That the NFC East will be crazy. So I'm gonna pick the Giants.
Right.
And because I there's so much excitement with these 4 teams in the NFC East. It seems boring, but when you look at the competition and coming down to the final games of the season, and these teams have to battle against each other at least one more time, that's the nachos with the cheese over. And I'm in front of the TV for that one right there, Shane.
All right, and then of course, now this is where it's gonna get real fun for you. So it's the Bum Bowl, Niners and Buccaneers, the Bum Bowl. So who you got?
Well, why does it seem like the Niners are in the Bum Bowl? I mean, every week is a Bum Bowl game for them. I mean, who do they play? I mean, you seem like we just picked the game with the Niners in the Bum Bowl, or is it because they're bums? Whoever they play, it's going to be called the Bum Bowl.
Well, I mean, the Niners is bums too. So I mean, because the Buccaneers, they can't even get out their own way. The only formidable team they actually beat on their schedule this year was the New Orleans Saints, and that was because that was the first part of the season. But other than that, what have the Buccaneers done? So
you know what? As much as I want to pick the Buccaneers because I think that Winston or Fitzpatrick, whoever is back there, can actually put up points, but it almost seems as if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization is in some type of disarray right now, as far as when it comes to their future quarterback. So, I'll pick the 49ers because I think the 49ers are probably a little bit more disciplined team at this point. And I think the turnovers and field position will play a big part in the 49ers winning this game.
Right. All right, let's see. Cardinals, Chargers. I'm choosing the Chargers in this one because they're a little upset after last week's loss, so I don't foresee them losing this one. So I got the Chargers beating the Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't go against the Chargers either. They're just a better team.
Yeah. Now this one I think is going to be interesting, but you're going to call me crazy for this one. So it's the Dolphins and Colts, but for some strange reason, I'm going to pick the Dolphins because for some odd reason, something's telling me something's just really weird with this Dolphins team because it's like 1 week they're hot, 1 week they're cold. Is this the week that they get hot? I don't know. We'll see. But I think the Dolphins have a pretty decent enough defense that they could beat the Colts.
Well, you know what? If this was 4 weeks ago, I probably would have picked the Dolphins. But right now, the Colts seem to have gotten it together. So I'm interested to see what they bring this Sunday and how they perform on the field. I think the Colts are a team that you have to look out for in the second half of the season because they can very well sneak up on you, and then next thing you know, they're in the playoffs, and they may win a game or two in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Colts. All
right, got you. Now Steelers, Broncos. I got the Steelers in that one. No Demaryius Thomas for the Broncos. Not to mention no Aqib Talib. Von Miller can't make all the defensive plays for the Broncos. He just can't. That's just impossible.
Well, you know how I feel about the Steelers. I said it last week. This is the time of year where the Steelers look at everything as this is the money time. It's crunch time. So I don't expect the Steelers to lose to a team that they're supposed to beat.
Yeah, me neither. Now, this one's a Sunday night game, Packers-Vikings. Now, after what I saw last week from the Vikings, I did not expect them to lose to the Bears, but I have to give I'm going to say this on the No BS show. In the beginning of this season, I didn't expect the Bears to be where they are. But after that trade of Khalil Mack, I'm sorry to say this, the Bears right now are the team to beat in the NFC North. Hands down. They are the team to beat in the NFC North. The Vikings need to do whatever they have to do to try to keep pace with this team. So I'm going to choose the Vikings to beat the Packers in this game because they have to do whatever they can to stay close to the Bears. Because the Bears right now, that team is on fire. And honestly, I said this before. There are going to be 2 teams coming out of the NFC North, and there are going to be 2 teams coming from the NFC South. And the way this playoff picture is starting to look, it's starting to look the way I expected it to look. So, I've got the Vikings beating the Packers. It's not going to be pretty, but I do got them beating the Packers.
Where are they playing at?
They're playing in Minnesota.
They're playing in Minnesota. You know what? Although they're playing in Minnesota, I can't go with the Vikings. I just can't because when I think about Kirk Cousins, I think about putting up the big numbers and everything, but those one or two mistakes that he made could cost him against this Packers team. So, I'm going to go with the experience. I'm going to go with the Packers.
Okay.
I have to, yeah.
Got you. Titans, Texans. I'm rolling with the Texans. That's not even a thought to me because after the fact that the Titans laid an egg last week, after they came off of a big win off of New England, it laid an egg. And I'm like, how did you lay an egg against the Colts? The Colts of all teams, you laid an egg. That team. But the Texans, they're on fire. And with the addition of Demaryius Thomas, now that offense, they're able to open up the playbook a little bit more. Because you got two monsters on the same team. So, and oddly enough, these ACC boys, they're going to work. You got DeAndre and Deshaun from Clemson, but you also got my man Demaryius Thomas from Georgia Tech now. These ACC boys are showing them what they can do in the NFL. Not to mention Lamar Miller came from the U. So, I'm just saying, something about that ACC. The whole ACC's on that team. I had the Texans rolling in that one.
My bad, Shane. I was doing push-ups. I'm trying to get like J.J. Watt. You see the guy's arms, man?
Oh my gosh!
I'm going to go with the Texans, man, just because I'm trying to get like J.J. Watt. Maybe I can get big contract.
Absolutely, yes. Now, folks, in the interest of time, we're gonna move ahead and talk about the NCAA top 5. Mr. Regulator, if you still got a little time, we can go ahead and talk about that really quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, NCAA top 5. Biggest game of the week to me, Michigan, Ohio State. Who you got, Mr. Unregulated?
Oh, man, as much as I would love to see Ohio State win, this Michigan team seems to be one of these special moments, and if they lose, right now they're in the playoffs. So I think this Michigan team can beat Alabama in the playoffs, but I would love to see Ohio State win. But so I'm gonna go with Michigan because I want Michigan to remain in the top 4 because I don't see many teams that can beat Alabama. Maybe Clemson.
Right.
I think Michigan is that one team that you just don't know. Alabama just don't know. You don't know what you're going to get from them. So I'm curious about them.
Right. Exactly. I definitely believe in Michigan. Although they're going to Ohio State, I think that this Michigan team is just something else. Not to mention Ohio State. After what I saw against Maryland last week, I'm like, y'all should have lost. Honestly, the only reason why Maryland lost that game was only because they elected to go for 2, so that way they can try to get a win. They failed. It is what it is. Sometimes you take a gamble in the NCAA, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. It just didn't pay off in the end for Maryland. And I said, if you let Maryland do that to you, I can only imagine what Michigan is going to do to you. Now, granted, they're 2 totally different football teams, 2 different games, but there's no way you can tell me that Ohio State is gonna beat Michigan. I'm sorry, I gotta roll with Jim. Sorry.
That's just the thing. The way they played against Maryland, man. I want to see 4 teams in the playoffs, and I want to see the other big teams able to beat Alabama. Right now, the way that Ohio State played last week, there's no way that they can compete with Alabama. I mean, it won't even be a game. They'll run up and down the field on them. Exactly.
Not to mention, here's the thing. Now let's talk about this. Kyler Murray versus Will Grier. West Virginia versus OU. The Sooners. Who you got?
That's another tough one, Shane. I mean, West Virginia, they pretty much got themselves knocked out of the playoff race. So Oklahoma, I believe Oklahoma still has a chance, right? Depending on how things fall. So I'm expecting Oklahoma to come out and to understand that this is an opportunity for them to put their names back in the playoff race. So yeah, I'll go with Oklahoma.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to roll with Oklahoma in this one as well. Just because they're on the road. They only have one loss this year, and that came from Texas. And Texas ain't no slouch. I mean, everybody acts like, Texas is a bunch of slouches. But I'm like, they're not no slouches. They just happen to play a couple of teams and lose games on stupidness. So I got to roll with OU in this one. Another tough game I think is going to be really fun is Washington State versus Washington. Now, the only reason why I'm going to choose Washington, Jake Browning is a heck of a quarterback. I got full faith in that kid. And I just think that he's just a straight up animal. And honestly, I honestly think he's going to be a really good pro quarterback. However, the guy he's playing against, Minshew, he's having a season of his life. He's thrown 36 touchdown passes, 4,325 yards in 11 games. I mean, that's astronomical numbers. So, I have to look at the facts. The facts are, as good as Washington is, this Washington State team is going to be tough. But I'm still going to roll with Jake because I trust Jake.
Yeah, Shane, this is the thing. People are going to think I'm crazy, but when you think about this, and you think about how Vegas get their odds and the numbers together, I strongly believe the world and life is built on numbers. It is. It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Things are just not a coincidence.
Yep.
This game right here, Washington State ought to be what? Washington State what?
10-1.
No. What's their mascot name? What is the mascot?
Oh, if I recall correctly, they are the I think they're the Wildcats.
Wildcats. So, but I think Wildcats, I think Huskies, and I think temperature-wise, Huskies can. If the temperature there is going to be in the 30s or below, go Huskies.
Yeah.
You have to go Huskies.
I get you.
And people are saying, what kind of picking is he doing? Is he crazy? But like I say, when you think about how life is and how all of these, the casinos in Vegas get their odds, it's all built on numbers and things of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try this one right here and say, you know what? If the temperature is 30 or under, go Huskies.
All right, got you. Now, here's another big one. And everybody's going to call me crazy for this one, too. I've got LSU being upset by Texas A&M. LSU's number 7. Texas A&M is number 22.
Yeah, you are crazy, Shane. You are, if you think that.
Yep, because you know what it is? Because everybody always wants to... Because everybody thought LSU was going to upset Alabama. That clearly didn't happen. So, I'm like, Texas A&M is playing at home. They got the home crowd behind them. LSU, it's Louisiana versus Texas. Who's got the best? Who's got the best food? I'm just saying. I'm a roll with the Aggies in this one. Them dogs is ready to eat. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the dogs may be ready to eat, but that's not the team. That's not the team to try to get full off of right here. LSU is not a team that this is a dangerous team, Shane. I'm talking about if it wasn't for their last loss, I would be looking at them right up in that top 4. This is a really dangerous team, and this is a team not to be played with. So, Texas A&M Aggies, I wish you luck. I hope you have a competitive game, but I don't see this even being close.
Yep, and according to ESPN's Football Power Index, it seems that Texas A&M has a 60% chance to win this game. So,
60. Wow.
Yep. They're looking at, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out the numbers. That's all it is.
And if they say that, it's something that they know. It's something that they know that we don't know.
Hey, I'm just saying. All right, so Utah State versus Boise State. That's number 21 versus number 23. Utah State is 10-1. Boise State is number 2, but Boise State is 9-2, and Utah State is 21 in the NCAA. According to ESPN's Football Power Index, Boise State has a 59.2% chance of winning this game. And who do you got?
Who has the 59% chance of winning the game?
That would be Boise State.
Is that the team? I'm trying to think about the colors. Yeah, I'm definitely going Boise State, but I don't. Is it Boise State or is it Bowling Green with the blue field?
That was Boise State with the blue field.
That was okay. Yeah. I haven't seen that blue field in a while. Did they change that?
Nah, they haven't changed it. Still the same.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. You know, that's something that you know that those people up there in Boise, man, they can always hang their hat on for being different. So yeah, but I'm definitely going with Boise State.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Boise State. Is their quarterback B. Rippey, and he's thrown 28 touchdowns, 3,270 yards, only 7 interceptions on the year. So basically, every 4 touchdowns he throws an interception. So
you have not mentioned the upset of the week, though, Shane. There's an upset coming that's shaking everything up this week. You haven't mentioned it.
Man, I wonder who that's gonna be. You gonna tell me?
Well, what about that team? With the A on their helmet, and they go by the name of, I think they're the Tigers?
Ooh, I was waiting for you to bring that up. Auburn.
Yes. What is the percentage? What is Vegas saying the percentage of them winning against Alabama? I think this will be a great game.
So, according to ESPN's Football Power Index, Auburn only has an 8% chance.
Oh, they don't know what they're talking about, Shane.
I said the same thing. I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, okay, so this Auburn team is 7-4. It's not like they're a bad football team. They just lost a lot. They just lost the games that were actually to opponents who are ranked opponents that were actually pretty good football teams. It wasn't like they were bad football teams. So that's why. And on top of that, this is the biggest rivalry in all of college football. In all of college football, outside of Oklahoma and Texas and the Red River rivalry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, or Ohio State, Michigan. Okay, this rivalry right here is so fierce that literally to this game, the state of Alabama brings in extra state troopers and riot gear because this rivalry is that fierce. It is that fierce. So there is no way this game is not going to live up to the hype. Now, if I'm going to choose who I'm going to believe is going to win this game, I'm going to roll with Auburn for the upset because we all know Alabama's not going to fall out of the top 4 in college football playoff. They're not because of the way this ranking system is. For some strange reason, they could lose one game and they'll still be the number 2 team in the college football playoff. But I'm going to choose Auburn for the upset just to be the spoiler.
You know what, Shane? I'm looking for the upset as well, but I'm going to tell you, when you talk about 8% the odds makers think that Auburn only has an 8% chance of winning, this tells me, okay, well, either they think we're stupid or something else is going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to take that as weird. So they're saying, throw your money on Alabama. Throw your money on Alabama. Meaning that Alabama probably will not cover the point spread. So Alabama may win, but the point spread may not be covered, which means Vegas can still win. Right. Why else would they only be getting 8% chance to win? That's hard to believe.
Yeah, I said the same thing exactly, folks. In the interest of time, we're just gonna go ahead and move forward, and I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the next topic, Mr. Regulated. You know, this is where it gets interesting. You know, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, funny. You know, that fight is coming up next week, right? So, who you got?
You know, I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday at the Turkey Bowl.
Uh-oh.
And everybody seems to like Wilder, but I keep saying that, you know, if Tyson can get past 6 rounds with him, it's a different fight. You know, I mean, Wilder has not been tested, but once or twice past the 6th round.
Right. That's true.
So, you know, if Tyson can take these punches for Wilder last past the 6th round, you know, I gotta put my money on Tyson.
Yeah.
Because Wilder hasn't proven to me that he can go the distance against, you know, a competition that is really worth something. Tyson, I mean, you know, I'll put him in a class of you know, being someone that steps in the ring with me. You have to take seriously. You know, Wilder been fighting the old post, the guy that delivered your mail, and he's been fighting the guy that's been back there in the McDonald's counting the money. So now
now see, you disrespectful. Don't put some respect on Ortiz's name. Don't do that. You better put some respect on Ortiz's name. Ortiz was not no bum. He took that man 10 rounds, and Wilder just mopped the floor of them in that 10th round. Like, don't put some respect on that man's name.
I mean, well, Ortiz was an exception. I mean, I'm not taking anything from Ortiz, but I mean, Ortiz been working out. He was, he worked with the moving company, so he's been lifting all the whole time. He ain't just been standing around and sitting at a desk. No, I like Wilder, man, but like I say, if it goes past 6 rounds, you have to be concerned.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna roll with Wilder as well. There's no way I'm gonna, because the thing about Tyson Fury is 27-0. Okay, he's got a lot of knockouts under his belt, but Wilder is 40-0 with 39 knockouts. Okay, and here's the thing. To be honest with you, this is what I call a tune-up fight for when Wilder has to beat the brakes off of Joshua. Because I'm going to call out Alan Hearns. I'm going to make sure I tag you on it, Mr. Hearns, because I want you to understand something. This is what bothers me about this whole fight. Tyson Fury has been out of boxing for 2 years, but all of a sudden he comes back and faces Wilder. Now, I'm not saying that he's a slouch, because he ain't no slouch, but Wilder's probably going to mop the floor with him. And after he beats him, because I'm pretty sure at the end of the night, when the scorecards are in, or if it's a knockout, when it's all said and done, Wilder's gonna smack him. Then they don't have a choice but to schedule that fight between Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Because Joshua can't keep ducking Wilder all this time. You can't keep ducking, bruh. You can keep ducking all you want, but I don't really know what it is. Hearns know he don't want Joshua to get any of that smoke. He do not want that smoke. That's what it is. So,
he must got Don King back in him or something. Don King must be in the mix of this somewhere. Al Haynes, one of them.
I'm about to say, somebody need to find Don. Matter of fact, Don King has been kind of quiet. Somebody need to find him and find out where he at.
When you've done the things that he's done and accomplished what he's accomplished and basically, put gasoline behind all the men that that even did that too. You gotta stay behind the scenes. So I mean, but it wouldn't surprise me that if he's not consulting with someone or that
he's pulling the strings,
partner in some type of way.
Hey, look, he's pulling the strings. Literally, he's pulling the strings. And little do people realize, Joshua's just a little puppet in this little game. And he doesn't realize that he's going to continue to look bad if he doesn't fight Wilder. Especially if Wilder beats Fury. If Wilder beats Fury, then Joshua will really have no choice but to fight him. And then at that point, that's going to be the biggest fight of the year in 2019. Because we both know that fight's going to happen in 2019 for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Shane, I got to run. But before I run, I want to throw this fight out there that everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about this big major fight coming up in the WWE. And I don't know how true it is. It may just be wishful thinking, but people are saying Dr. Death Steve Williams will make his return against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is that a fight? That is a fight of the century.
Breaking news. The question is, who do you think will win that?
Man, I'm telling you, I love Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Dr. Death Steve Williams, he was one of those guys that I don't think he ever lost. You've seen Stone Cold get beat up because I've never seen Dr. Death get beat up ever. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to see. You can count me in on that, but I'll pay for that one.
All right, there it is.
And man, hold it down, Shane. I'm hoping that the insane Shane can maintain his composure, and someone in that studio are coming in and throw some cold water on you to get too heated up in there. But to all the listeners, I know you are probably going to say something about the Wizards, but check out the interviews that were done covering the Wizards games last week on the No BS, No Holds Barred page, and you'll see the interviews with Marquise Morris and Austin Rivers, and also the new starter in the lineup, Thomas Bryant.
Exactly.
And when you look at these interviews, listen closely to what Austin and Marquise has to say about the team. Marquise basically in this interview told me that there's no offensive scheme. We freelance. So that means you're street balling, which means John Wall is doing exactly what the coaches want him to do. And the other teammates don't like that or can't adapt to it because these players come from structured programs, Kansas, Georgetown. So these guys use intelligence, IQ, basketball IQ, instead of just running up and down the court jacking up shots. So I mean, I think the problem is that it lies with the players because the players are sick. They're sick of losing, and the way the scheme is, it doesn't involve the players the way or utilize the players' skills as the players think that they should be utilized. So I think this is a coaching problem, man. And I've been in the locker room. The locker room just seems, oh my God, it seems like these guys, they don't talk to each other. I mean, it was weird. It was crazy.
It is.
I think all the frustrations comes from the scheme, man. I guess once they start winning, that will fix everything. But in order to win, you have to come up with a scheme. And I told Marquise, I say, when you practice, has anything been installed into the playbook where so you and Dwight Howard can receive the ball with your back turned to the basket? I mean, you got a dominant player Dwight Howard, you got a physical presence in Marquise Morris, and you're not utilizing this. So this tells me that something we need to look at the coaching.
Yeah, you sure do. And there's plenty of coaches in the NBA. All right, Mr. Regulator, thank you for calling in, brother. Can't wait to have you back next week, man.
Yeah, I'll be back soon, shortly, and you all take care of the WBGR, and you all keep on and continue listening to the insane Hector. All right, buddy.
All right, bro. All right, folks, in the interest of time, we're going to actually move forward. We're going to go ahead and we're going to keep rolling. We're just going to keep rolling because, it's a really good discussion today. So, it is what it is. So, I'm going to jump right into it. I just find a lot of things to be funny. Surprise team of the NBA to me. There's a lot of teams that surprise me. I'm just going to be 100 with y'all. Here's what kind of bothers me about the NBA today. The teams that I expected to be great are not doing so hot. See, the Celtics right now, they're not doing so well. In the first 20 games of the season, I'm looking at this team and I'm like, what is going on with the Boston Celtics? And I don't know if it's, and I know it ain't Coach Stevens. I just don't know what else to say. And the Warriors, well, they're having problems in the locker room right now because it looks like Draymond wants to keep talking about KD, how we don't need KD anymore, and KD could just go wherever he feels like going. He said we won with you, and he's like we'll win without you. That's just what it comes down to. So this is what I believe. Here's what I believe. Surprise team of the year to me is going to most certainly be the Milwaukee Bucks because nobody could have told me that team was going to be as great as they are. Nobody. I could have not. I really just don't know. I don't know what happened. All I can say is that the Milwaukee Bucks is the truth, and it is what it is. But I could say this. It's really interesting. And also, another surprise team of the year to me, the Toronto Raptors. Raptors are 15-4. I don't know what it is. I don't know what Kool-Aid they was drinking. But those are the teams that are a surprise team. Those are surprise teams to me. And then on top of that, with those two teams in the East, like right now, if the season was to end today, Boston would be the number 8 seed in the East, which is really, really bad. But I think they'll turn it around eventually. And in the West, well, the West is highly competitive right now, but the Memphis Grizzlies are on top, 12-5. Portland Trailblazers are 12-6. Looks like I got a caller. Caller, you live.
Hey, same, man. You know when you talk basketball, I have to chime in, man. again, man. Now I have to educate you about the game of basketball.
You gonna educate me about the game of basketball? Go ahead.
Yes, your Boston Celtics will be just fine. Look, it's still early in the season. Right now, remember last year you didn't have all your pieces with Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, the young Jason. He had to develop. So just give it time, brother. You know it's not. You gotta wait till about Christmas before you start really analyzing.
Did you just tell me that I gotta wait till Christmas
even people try to get on my Lakers. It's early.
Okay, but
y'all will be good.
Okay, but Mr. Melton. By the way, folks, this is Mr. Andre Melton from the Flex Zone on WBGR. Shout out to you real quick. But let me just keep it 100 with you. You do realize that the only piece that was missing from last year's team was Gordon Hayward. You do know that, right? I just want to make sure that you understand that.
Yes, but now what? You guys are finally a team. Everybody's right there, right now. It's going to take a little time to develop.
Take a little time.
But I think y'all will be just fine.
Mr. Melton, no. See, let me tell you why I'm concerned for this Boston Celtics team. First off, they won 50 games with just it was just Kyrie Irving and the guys that got there now, with a rookie Jason Tatum, with Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, Morris, and all those guys, right? That was last year's team, and they was the number 2. And they was the number 1 seed. Is the number 2 seed in the East. Okay, the only problem is they didn't have Gordon. Now they got Gordon, and right now they're sitting at number 8 in the East. If it was the end of the day, now, like I said, it's still early because we're only a quarter of the season through. You're right, it's still too early. But I'm gonna say it like this: they need to fix it and fix it very fast. Because I can tell you right now, you're 9-9. Son, the Orlando Magic is above the Boston Celtics, okay? I don't even want it. And you know how disrespectful that is to say that the Orlando Magic are over the Boston Celtics. I don't even go that far to say the Charlotte Hornets is over the Boston Celtics right now. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Kemba Walker, but still. So, you want to try that again? Just saying.
Are you really concerned with the Orlando Magic in a playoff series?
In a playoff series, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't be concerned at all. But at the same time,
thank you. It's 3 teams we know in the East. It is the 76ers, the Celtics, and the Raptors. And you guys, right now, if I was having an order, it would be the Celtics at 1, Raptors at 2, Philadelphia at 3. And I don't trust the Bucks. I know that you just talked about the Bucks earlier, but the Bucks are number 4. I still don't trust them when it comes to a 7-game series right now.
Well, they did take Boston to a 7-game series last year. They came very close, and they did add some pieces. So let's not act like the Bucks is a bunch of chumps. They're not. So I am not taking it away from them. Period.
Look, man, until they can win a playoff series. And the Greek Freak has a phenomenal performance. I'm not concerned. The 76ers, they added Jimmy Butler. I like that move, but
yeah, they got rid of two key guys.
It doesn't put them over the hump yet. The Raptors, I don't think Kawhi's even staying, but it at least makes them relevant. So that's why I still put you guys as the cream of the crop. And you guys got the best coach in the East.
Yeah, we do. Not to mention Jason Tatum. I always told people, you should know this as a Lakers fan, that the Black Mamba trained Jason Tatum this past offseason. So, and I'm already starting to see the fruits of that training, because that boy is playing some pretty good basketball. Not to that kind of stardom yet, because he still got rings to win first before we could even put him in that conversation. But the kid is on his way, so he just got to win. But thank you for calling in, brother, because in the interest of time, I've got to go.
No problem, brother. We'll talk, man.
All right. Yep. All right, folks, and the last topic of the day, I'm gonna talk about the last few topics of the day. I'm gonna make it very clear. Road to the Super Bowl. The teams I got going to the Super Bowl, to at least the AFC and the NFC Championship. I've got the Chiefs going to the AFC Championship and seeing most likely the New England Patriots, just because I don't trust Pittsburgh at all. I don't trust them to get there. But I do believe that the way the Patriots defense is playing, the Chiefs will probably be in the Super Bowl. And then on the other side, it looks like it'll be the Rams and the Saints, because that's what that looks like to me. However, if I had to choose between those two teams, and as much as it pains me to say this, I'm going to say the New Orleans Saints, because they have the most experience in the playoffs out of any football team on that side. The Rams, they're just getting good. So and I don't trust them yet. So we'll go. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to roll with the Saints. I have the Saints and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's what I believe. So, last topic. Colin Kaepernick, Redskins. Redskins fans, I'm going to probably bring this up next week because I have to talk about this. It mind boggles me how Colt McCoy throws 4 interceptions, but then there's this rumor that you guys were going to sign Mark Sanchez if you have not already signed him yet, and I believe you have, but you're going to not sign Colin Kaepernick at all. So now you just keep on adding fuel to his lawsuit against the NFL. So if y'all want to keep doing that, power to you. Because now what's going to happen is you keep on proving his collusion case. You just keep proving it. So there it is. I got more to say about this, but we're going to have to talk about this. Next week. I'm going to have to go in depth next week. In fact, I'm going to have a special on the whole Colin Kaepernick saga. So there it is. Alright, folks, I am out of time, so I want to thank all of you guys for tuning into the show today, and thank you for supporting, and thank you for everybody who called in today. I want you guys to go to No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk Show on the YouTube page. Once you go ahead and look at that, you could go back and look at some previous shows, and of course, if there's anything you want to ask me or anything like that, send us an email and we'll or comment, and we will most certainly get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Then go to the Facebook group, No BS, No Holds Barred Facebook group as a viewer group. Follow our blogger at No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk.blogspot.com. I also want you to follow me on social media at Insane Shane _ Shane 29 underground SB29. My Instagram shiz_29, No BS, No Holds Barred underground sports LC.blogspot.com. You can follow Mr. Unregulated at Mr. Unregulated for you. And then I also want you to go to undergroundsportslc@gmail.com if you want to advertise with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the No BS show. We are out of the building. Peace!